my friends, welcome to my channel. We are officially entering the holiday season. This is my very first haul. Actually, I did do like the Fenty highlighter video, but I don't know if that's holiday or not, if it's just like fall release, but this is officially holiday from NARS. So this is called the High Profile Palette. Like they have this tape, like the police tape, but it just says NARS like wrapped around it, and this retails for $59. I kind of appreciate that NARS hasn't increased their prices in what, like 3 years or 4? Yeah, I think so, 3 years. So this is the box that it came in, like a pink, and then so it kind of describes the color story too. There are very pinky, watermelony kind of shades in the palette. So $59 and made in Italy. And at the back it kind of tells you the color story that you get, and I got it from Sephora. So you get 6 shades, as you can see in the back in the picture. So in each pan you get 3 grams of product. That's standard, that NARS always gives us. So 3 grams 6 times, $59, and it is that gorgeous, beautiful baked gelée formula. Look at that, so pretty. And also on the actual product, this kind of this tape pattern is embossed in it. So yeah, that's what you get, and you get like a full-size mirror, very pretty, everything. So at the back you have like the names, and I believe they're all like new shades. NARS usually does like very similar shades, but they're all like new shades. So we have a lot going on in this video. I'm going to be showing you swatches, and then I'm going to be applying all of this blushes, highlighter. I already did the demo section, so I have everything, all 6 of the products on my cheeks. And then the best part is I found a almost spot on dupe, not just like for one particular shade, a palette that is a spot on dupe, and not with other brand, from NARS itself. The Exposed palette, you guys remember this? This was like 2 years ago, I think. And beautiful watercolor like packaging. This is called Exposed palette. Look at that, look at that beautiful watermelony shades. Let me just hold them side by side so you can kind of like see what's going on, what I mean. Because if you just look at every NARS palette, they kind of are gonna look the same, because they always have this, ta-da, look at that, watermelon shades, a coral, those flesh tone colors, and then the plum color. This is a beautiful, both are stunning palettes, but there are some seriously on point dupes. So we're gonna be doing a dupe. And I also wanted to talk about this palette quickly, just comparison. It's a very different color story. It has red and all those stuff in it, but this is the only other palette that's available on the market from NARS, a cheek palette. So quickly want to also show you guys swatches of that. So basically that's what's gonna happen. But first, before that demo and the comparison, let's quickly swatch this beauty. So yeah, so that is a, hang on, maybe I should do it the other hand. So beautiful gold highlighter. It's a darker gold, actually. You can tell it's not very champagne-y. It's a dark gold. Definitely it's gonna flatter. I think all the highlighter, any highlighter that NARS puts in this 6 pan palette, they all flatter like every skin tone. They're all like, because the base is just like very non-existent. This is that flesh toned peach color. This is pretty subtle. I think I'm gonna say that's that color. What I just swatched is this color, and this is the darker reddish plum color. So that's, I'm gonna say that about this palette, because this is kind of toned down. This is the only subtle palette I have from NARS, because all of their other palettes are pretty intense. They do have like very extremely dark shades and very like light shades, but this palette is kind of like they're all subtle, to be honest. All of the shades are very subtle and very nice. And then this is that reddish kind of brick shade. Look at that, kind like reddish brick kind of a shade. Very glossy. Look at that. It's gonna, you do not need like a highlighter with this shade at all. It's so glossy. And then this is that true coral shade, this coral shade right here. These two look the same. I'm not gonna lie. This one looks more pinker. I know it looks very coral and warm, this one, but it's actually quite pinker on the skin. At least on my skin, it looks more pinker. Look at that, more pink. You'd see when I show you like swatches of like comparison between this coral and the other corals in the other palette. And then this is that watermelon shade. This looks dark, but it's actually kind of subtle. It's quite subtle. Look at that. I know, they all kind of look the same, huh? They're very much, it's a very soft palette. You're gonna get a very like soft colors on the cheek, but look at that, that's what I have on my cheek. Very soft colors on the cheek, but the formula is beautiful and very glossy. That's kind of yeah, that's kind of like my all-round opinion of the palette as such. It's the colors are pretty soft. It's very glowy and glossy finish, but yeah, the colors are pretty soft, but the highlighter is pretty intense. It's like seriously crazy. So yeah, so let's move on to the demo section and the comparison, and you guys can enjoy and get more information about the palette. Let's put some blush on my cheeks right now, just some sunscreen and very light dusting of powder. So I don't know if I can put all of them on my cheeks, to be honest, because I don't know. We'll see. Let's try. So I thought I'll start with the the lighter colors. So maybe we'll try these two, one in each cheek. So I'm gonna pick up some coral, and right there. I'm not able to see a lot, so I'm going to dig and get more. Yeah, now I think I can see a little bit of, yeah, I can see some color there. So let me just clean this brush up, and let's go get some this flesh tone, like a subtle plum color, or more like flesh tones, more like brown. Yeah, I think I can. Honestly, in person, I don't see a flush of color at all. I don't see it. I really don't. This is much lighter than I expected. Yeah, now I see. I really dug in, but still it's very flesh tone. It's so flesh tone. It's like it just kind of looks brown. So that is this shade. And then let's go in with this watermelon shade, I guess, on this side, because yeah, that kind of like, you saw some color. I am able to see some color too, but it's pretty subtle, I gotta say. It's pretty subtle, but yeah, it came through. Now let's go in with the reddish shade. It's kind of like muted red. It's not like a straight up red. And that is where my pimples are seriously kicking my butt. I don't know what to do with them. It's like serious. I've been battling them for at least 4 weeks now. They just keep coming. Just like so fed up. So yeah. Honestly, I put so many different colors, but they all look the same, guys. In person, they just look the same. Okay, what else? I think we still have this darker plum shade. So I think I want to take that, maybe put it here in my chin, and you can see the flush of color. Do you see? I think I do. I do see the flush of color. That's such a stunning color. NARS always puts this darker plum color. It looks brown and kind of boring, but it just translates so beautifully on dark skin tone. At least on my skin tone, I just absolutely love that shade. It looks so beautiful and so effortless. It has the right amount of red, and the right amount of brown, and it just looks so so flattering. I just love this. This is like and I'm so glad NARS puts this shade in every palette. It's just like so so pretty. So yeah, basically I managed to put all of the blush colors on my skin. So yeah, let's put on the highlighter. Looks so pretty, I gotta say. This is not a very dense brush. It's actually the bristles are also pretty soft, but I got so much on the brush. I'm surprised. This is such a beautiful soft formula, but at the same time it's so so skin like. I gotta say, it's not like zero glittery formula, but at the same time it's not super glittery, because I am able to see some glitters and shimmers on the skin. Just FYI, it's not super glittery, to be honest. It's not chunky glitter, no, like, but I am able to see some glitter. I don't know how to describe it. So yeah, that is what it looks like on my skin. Pretty glowy. Okay, let's do the comparisons. Let's jump right into it. So I quickly want to show you guys this beauty. So this is the exposed palette. This palette is not available for purchase right now at all. So this one look at that, two watermelon shade, reddish, and one is more pinker and one is more red. This is more pinker and this is more red. And then there's a coral, there's that beautiful plum shade, and then there's a flesh toned plum shade, and then there's a highlighter. Let me just hold up the new one, high profile. They are exactly the same. They are just exactly the same, guys. I was like, no. The only difference is in the high profile, in the second row, like this one, the coral is in the center, and here the coral is at the end. Just the placements, and of course the highlighter is a different color, but on the skin they kind of translate the same, because they are NARS's formula is like very thin and very very lightweight. So of course this is more easier and more like effortless, more gold, and this is more champagne. So this is more champagne, the highlighter shade, and this is more gold. I mean, it's very obvious. You can just like make it out by just looking at the picture, but I'm just saying they are just the same. This is like an exact dupe. Of course, for me, it kind of like, I'm so like, why? But the exposed palette is not available. So if you want these watermelony shades, here's your chance. You gotta just get this. So it kind of just makes sense. It's good that they discontinued this and they brought this, but if you have the exposed palette, I don't know. I don't think you need the high profile one at all. Or if you like, if your exposed palette is kind of like really worn out and the powders are really like dug in, I think there's still a lot of use for me here. So anyways, let's get into the swatches. I quickly wanted to do the highlighter first and get that out of the way. That's a champagne one from the exposed, the old one. I know it's like so white, but very no white cast or anything. It just looks very very beautiful. So that one also has visible shimmers, and then this is the one, the gold or darker one is from the new one, the high profile one. So yeah, those are the two highlighters. So let's swatch the watermelon shades. Okay, hang on. Okay, let's do the watermelon, I guess. So that is this shade from the new one. So that is the more pinker, lighter one. So the pinker, lighter one in the exposed palette is right here in the middle. So I'm going to swatch that. Both are also, not to mention, they're exact same formula. They're has that glossy kind of a look. This is more pinker, the exposed one. The older palette is more pinker, this is more redder, but I seriously doubt there's going to be any difference on the skin. So let's go with the reddish one. This is more like a brick, like a toned down brick red. Let me also swatch that more pinker, darker red. That is not this, by the way. This reddish shade is very brick red, like very muted brick red. So I believe the dark watermelon color from the Exposed palette, there's no dupe for that in the new one, in the high profile one. This is much darker and there's no dupe for that, but still you can definitely like in interchange with this, like really apply it. I'm just saying, yeah. So those are the pinky colors, and that is the beautiful. This is pretty subtle. It looks so dark in the palette, but it's pretty subtle. It's quite subtle, I gotta say. And then let's watch the plum colors. This is that flesh tone plum, very flesh tone, or not even plum, it's just a flesh tone peachy color. It's very subtle. I had to like really dig in, you guys saw. So another flesh toned peach from the Exposed palette. They are basically the same. So those are the two flesh peachy colors. Let's watch my favorite. It's that darker plum color. It's a dark peach, I guess. So that is from the Exposed palette. So this, let's watch the high profile one. That's from the high profile. A high profile one, I don't know, swatch is darker, but it was kind of subtle. So those are the swatches and dupes. Hang on, one more. I think we haven't swatched the coral, the straight up coral here, right here. Let's do it here. Let's do it here. So that is the coral from the high profile. Let's watch the coral from the Exposed. I guess the high profile is, they are different for sure, because the Exposed is much darker and the high profile is more pinker and more subtle. So those are basically the difference. They are very much like so many dupes. I would say like the biggest difference is this is a little bit more intense and this is a bit more subtle. This is very subtle. All the colors are subtle. I know they do kind of look dark, but I gotta say all of them like a version subtle than this. It's kind of like similar version, but this is more subtle. I have to say that. That's something that I really noticed when I'm using the palettes, and this has been I've been like featuring this palette as like my favorite palette recently, and the colors are much more richer in the Exposed palette. This one you got to like really dig in, to be honest. The high profile one, yes. So just for namesake, I wanted to like show you guys what the Orgasm on the Beach looks like, because this is like right now the other palette on the out on the market for NARS is just this and this. So just for that reason I wanted to quickly swatch, but this is like a different color story. Yes, there is like a coral there. Let me quickly show. And also the formula too is kind of, I don't know, this is more like a, this is more like highlighter formula. All of them have a kind of like, it feels like a highlighter in the Orgasm on the Beach palette, but not here. This kind of feels different. I don't know. So that is the coral one, but the coral in this palette is a little bit more pinker, I guess. Yeah, you see how kind of pinky that looks, and not very coral. This one, the base is more coral. So that's Orgasm on the Beach, and that's the high profile. And it does have like a straight up, oh wait, my favorite, which is that plum shade. Absolutely adore this shade. It's just so pretty, and I'm so glad that NARS keeps putting this shade in all of their palettes. So this is from the high profile. This high profile one looks so red. It's more reddish, yeah. And this plum shade is from the Orgasm on the Beach palette, and that is more coral. Very pretty. And then what else do we have? I think the red one. I think there is like a red. Just watching this is nowhere similar to the red here, because this is like a straight up red and that is like not even close red. Look at that, that's like completely different. So yeah. And oh, by the way, there is like a rose gold kind of a highlighter here and like a gold highlighter. The rose gold is this and the gold is this. So these are the two highlighters from the Orgasm on the Beach palette, and look at that, they all kind of look the same. And I want to swatch the highlighter from this. This is more intense for some reason. So that is the this is the pale gold and this is a rose gold. Let me quickly swatch that. Yeah. All honesty, swatches, they do look different, but on the skin I seriously doubt they're going to look very different. So yeah. So that is it, guys. I just quickly wanted to come here and show you guys swatches, because it was like my jaw dropped when I opened the high profile palette, and it was like a little disappointed, I'm not gonna lie, because I have the exact palette. Yes, like it's very very toned down. I really need to dig it in, and very easy to use too, and very everyday palette. That's something I wanted to say about the high profile. It's very everyday, it's very subtle. So if you have like a faint heart like, and if you're not colorful at all, but it's still you want like a very skin like highlighter is a little intense. So if that's something that you love, I think you'd really really like it, because the formula is beautiful. Formula is so good, and NARS is like this big jelly formula is so luxurious and so amazing. Just like it just motivates you to just open the palette and use it, because the palette itself looks so sexy and so good. So that's something I love about it. So hope you guys found this video useful, helped you to make a decision. Are you getting it? Are you not? Are you interested? Have you owned a NARS palette? Have you used their cheek formulas, cheek product formulas, everything? Let me know down below in the comment section. I would love to interact with you guys. Whatever it is, come on over and say hello. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked watching it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.